Hi, in this video, I'm going to cover the top 3 critical things you need to do when preparing for an interview. I'm Amri Celeste, an HR recruitment officer and career coach with over 9 years hiring experience. When you have a job interview, how do you prepare? Or do you prepare at all? Well, after interviewing over 3,000 candidates, I can tell you that lack of preparation is the #1 reason that candidates get declined for a job. Critical things are often done too late or the night before, like checking the location or reading the job description. When you prepare for a job interview in the right way, it has a dramatic impact on how you come across and you seem more polished and memorable. It helps to combat brain freeze and nerves in your interview and you feel prepared for almost any question. It also helps to confirm whether or not this job is one you actually want and whether that company is a place where you really want to work, as you'll be looking at those areas when you go through preparation. Things like what to wear are decided in advance and can't trip you up on the day. It may seem like a small detail, but this commonly makes candidates late for their interviews because they prepare on the day and then realize that something needs to be washed, mended, ironed, or they simply can't find it. For example, I once interviewed a candidate who lived 15 minutes away from the office where I was based at the time, and he was 45 minutes late for his interview. And when I asked him what happened, he actually told me that he didn't check the bus route until that morning and realized late that he should have already left. At the time, this stunned me because it showed all sorts of poor judgment. He didn't even call ahead. The manager refused to see him completely and he lost out on that opportunity. And this was for a company that was a market leader in its industry and was 15 minutes from his house. So what should you consider when you're preparing for an interview? There are a lot of different ways that you can prep, but I'm going to cover 3 of the most important areas that should be on your interview preparation checklist. 1 is company research. There are multiple places online that you can look to find out more about the company that you have an interview with, such as LinkedIn or Glassdoor. I'm sure many of you know what LinkedIn is as it's pretty popular, but in case you don't, it's the largest online professional network and a brilliant source of information about companies. Glassdoor is an invaluable tool. It allows current and previous employees to leave reviews on companies and what it's like to work there, so that's another great place to look. When it comes to company research, think of it like this. You should be able to answer the question, what do you know about our company? Candidates that go the extra mile and include things like relevant stats about the company, whether it's sales achievements, for example, important acquisitions, or who the competitors are, always shine above other candidates in the interview process. And all of this information can be found online. So if research and prep are done, you will stand out. Quick bonus tip regarding location. So I spoke earlier about a candidate who was 45 minutes late and lost out on the opportunity to interview. Regarding location, this may seem obvious, but lateness is so common that it's important that I cover this. Check how you will get to your interview as soon as you know what the address is. Put it into Google, check out the street, parking, or nearest station. Give yourself much more time than you need. I can't stress this enough. If Google tells you that it's a half an hour journey, give yourself just over 1 hour. If you then get there with 25 to 30 minutes to spare, go to the building so you know the route, and once you're clear on where it is, then you can wait nearby in a local coffee shop or somewhere else nearby so that you can guarantee you'll be on time. But you don't want to be too late or too early. Now, sometimes clients ask me why I don't recommend being too early. And this is simply because the manager has set aside a time to see you. They are likely busy or in other meetings. So if you show up 40, 60 minutes early, it actually shows that you don't have a grasp on time management because it's so far away from the time that your interview starts. You need to be early by a reasonable amount of time. So I recommend going into the building 10 to 15 minutes before your interview starts. Make sure you also do take a contact number for the relevant employer or agency before your interview in case you're running late, and do call ahead if this is the case. 2 is job research. So you need to gain an in-depth understanding of the job prior to your interview. You need to link at least 3 to 5 points from the job description to your relevant skills. You can do this by aligning your key strengths and relevant experience with the points listed on the job description. I strongly recommend writing them down so you have a clear idea before your interview. 3 is practice your interview. Now, I know that many people don't want to do this, and I know this because of the high volume of people that I interview that haven't done this, and it really shows. Just think about all the steps that you take to get to an interview in the first place. A long job search on multiple platforms, sometimes registering with multiple recruitment agencies, screening calls and phone interviews with HR recruitment specialists such as myself. Sometimes you need to complete online assessments for numerical skills or personality profiling. Sometimes you need to prepare a presentation, buy a suit or a smart dress. Then making the trip, sitting there in the room feeling nervous, and after all that, missing out on the one step that can be the difference between an offer and a rejection. It's not as painful as many people think. Take some time well in advance, not the night before, and go over some answers to common interview questions. You will thank me because you will feel the world of difference when you go into your interview. There's a method of practice that I strongly recommend, which I cover in my Ultimate Interview Prep Guide, which you can download below. I also include more detail on places online to research the company, how to use your CV to help you prepare, and the types of questions that you should be asking in your interview and more. It's packed full of really helpful tips. So click the link below to download that for free. So let me pass the question on to you. How do you prepare for a job interview? Let me know in the comments. So to recap, when preparing for an interview, the minimum areas you want to cover are company research. Utilize online avenues to give you more in-depth knowledge about the company. Job research. Link your key skills and experience to the essential skills required for the role, and practice your interview prior. Thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this, tap like, subscribe for more, and I will see you soon. And personality profiling. Sometimes you need to prepare a presentation.